As we embark on this exploration together, I want you to remember one fundamental truth. You are the operant power in your world. Your consciousness, your imagination, is the very substance from which your reality is formed. And it is through the conscious direction of your imagination that you will eliminate these 11 things from your life. Not through forced struggle, but through a shift in your consciousness. Let us begin with the first thing you must quietly eliminate: doubt. Doubt, my dear friends, is the great enemy of manifestation. It is the shadow that obscures the light of your divine imagination. When you entertain doubt, you create a divided mind, a state of consciousness that cannot bring forth your desires into physical reality. But how do you eliminate doubt? Not by fighting against it, for what you resist persists. No, you eliminate doubt by cultivating an unshakable faith in the power of your imagination. Remember, the Bible tells us faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, your faith. Your absolute knowing that what you desire is already yours in the realm of imagination is the very substance from which your desire will be made manifest in the physical world. To eliminate doubt, you must practice living from the end. See yourself as already having that which you desire. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the fulfillment of your wish fulfilled. Make this state so real, so vivid in your imagination that it becomes more real to you than the current circumstances of your life. For remember, my friends, your imagination is the reality, and the outer world is merely a shadow. As you cultivate this faith, as you live consistently in the state of the wish fulfilled, you will find that doubt naturally falls away. It cannot exist in the light of your unwavering faith. And as doubt disappears, you will witness the miraculous unfolding of your desires in the world around you. Now, let us move on to the second thing you must quietly eliminate: negative self-talk. The words you speak to yourself, the internal dialogue that runs through your mind, are incredibly powerful. They are, in fact, the very seeds from which your reality grows. How often do you catch yourself saying things like, I can't, it's too hard, or I'm not good enough? These phrases, my dear friends, are acts of creation. They are shaping your world, limiting your possibilities, and keeping you bound to a reality that falls short of your true potential. To eliminate negative self-talk, you must become aware of it. Listen to your inner dialogue as if you were an impartial observer. When you catch yourself in negative self-talk, do not judge or criticize yourself. Simply observe it, and then consciously choose to replace it with affirming, empowering thoughts. Speak to yourself as you would to someone you deeply love and respect. Affirm your power, your worthiness, your ability to create and manifest your desires. Say to yourself, I am capable, I am worthy, I can achieve anything I set my mind to, and most importantly, embody the feeling of these statements. Feel their truth in every cell of your being. Remember, it is not the words themselves that have power, but the feeling behind them. As you consistently speak to yourself with love and respect, as you affirm your power and worthiness, you will find that your outer world begins to reflect this new self-concept. Opportunities will arise, circumstances will align, and you will find yourself naturally embodying the person you've been affirming yourself to be. The third thing to quietly eliminate from your life is the need for external validation. How many of us have lived our lives seeking approval from others? How many decisions have we made, not based on our own inner guidance, but on what we think others will approve of? This need for external validation is a prison, my friends. It keeps you bound to the opinions and expectations of others, preventing you from fully expressing your true self and living your authentic purpose. To eliminate this need, you must realize a fundamental truth. You are already complete, already worthy, already enough. Your worth is not determined by the opinions of others, but by your own self-concept. And remember, your self-concept is something you have the power to choose and create. Choose now to see yourself as worthy, as deserving of all good things. Choose to approve of yourself, to validate your own experiences and emotions. As you do this, as you become your own source of validation, you will find that the need for external approval naturally falls away. This doesn't mean you become indifferent to others or disregard their feelings. On the contrary, when you no longer need others' approval to feel worthy, you are free to engage with them from a place of authenticity and love. You can appreciate their opinions without being controlled by them. You can receive compliments with grace, knowing they reflect your own self-concept rather than defining it. The fourth element to quietly eliminate is the habit of comparison. In this age of social media and constant connectivity, it's all too easy to fall into the trap of comparing our lives to others. We see carefully curated highlights of others' lives and measure our own against them, often finding ourselves falling short. But remember, my dear friends, comparison is the thief of joy. It robs you of your unique journey, your individual path of growth and self-discovery. No two souls have the same purpose, the same journey, the same lessons to learn. When you compare yourself to others, you're attempting to walk a path that was never meant for you. Instead of comparison, cultivate appreciation. Appreciate your own journey with all its ups and downs, for it is uniquely yours. Appreciate the journeys of others, knowing that their success does not diminish your own. In fact, when you can genuinely celebrate the success of others, you align yourself with the abundance of the universe and open yourself to receiving your own blessings. Remember, in the infinite realm of imagination, there is no scarcity. There is more than enough success, love, abundance for everyone. When you eliminate comparison and embrace appreciation, you step into this abundance mindset, and you will find that your life becomes richer in every way. The fifth thing to quietly eliminate is the belief in limitations. How often have you told yourself, I can't do that, that's impossible, or that's just the way things are? These beliefs in limitations are nothing more than constructs of the mind, yet they have the power to shape your reality. Remember, my friends, the only true limitations are those you accept in your own mind. In the realm of imagination, all things are possible. Your physical reality is nothing more than an outpicturing of your beliefs and assumptions. When you eliminate the belief in limitations, you open yourself to infinite possibilities. To do this, start challenging your limiting beliefs. When you catch yourself thinking, I can't, ask yourself, what if I could? When you think something is impossible, ask, what would it look like if it were possible? Allow your imagination to play with these possibilities. Feel the excitement, the joy, the freedom of a life without self-imposed limitations. As you do this, you'll find that your perception of what's possible begins to expand. Opportunities you never noticed before will start to appear. Solutions to problems will present themselves. You'll start to see evidence of your own limitless nature reflected in the world around you. The sixth element to quietly eliminate from your life is the habit of dwelling on the past. How many of us carry the weight of past mistakes, past hurts, past failures? We replay these events in our minds, relieving the pain, the embarrassment, the regret. But in doing so, we keep ourselves bound to these past experiences, unable to fully step into the present moment and create our desired future. Remember, my dear friends, the past only exists in your memory. It has no power over you except the power you give it through your attention. When you dwell on the past, you are using your imagination, the very power that could be creating your desired future, to recreate and relive past experiences. Instead of dwelling on the past, choose to focus on the present moment and the future you desire to create. Use your imagination to create vivid scenes, detailed scenes of your ideal life. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the fulfillment of living that life now. As you do this consistently, you'll find that the hold of the past begins to loosen. The energy you once used to relive past events is now directed towards creating your desired future. This doesn't mean denying or suppressing past experiences. It means choosing where to place your attention. Acknowledge the past, learn from it, if there are lessons to be learned, but then release it. Choose instead to live in the present moment, creating the future you desire. The seventh thing to quietly eliminate is the habit of worry. Worry, my friends, is negative imagination. It is the misuse of your creative power to conjure up scenarios of lack, failure, or disaster. And remember, what you imagine with feeling, you create. When you worry, you are essentially imagining and feeling undesirable futures into existence. You are using the power of your imagination against yourself, creating the very scenarios you fear. To eliminate worry, you must redirect your imagination. When you catch yourself worrying about a future event, consciously choose to imagine a positive outcome instead. See the situation resolving in the best possible way. Feel the relief, the joy, the satisfaction of this positive resolution. Remember, your imagination does not distinguish between what you fear and what you desire. It simply responds to what you focus on with feeling. So choose wisely where you place your attention. Use your imagination to create the outcomes you desire, not the ones you fear. As you practice this, you'll find that worry begins to lose its grip on you. You'll develop a deep trust in the unfolding of life, knowing that you have the power to shape your experiences through your imagination. The eighth element to quietly eliminate from your life is the need to control everything. Many of us live with the belief that if we can just control every aspect of our lives, we can ensure our safety, success, and happiness. But this need for control is an illusion that often leads to stress, anxiety, and frustration. The truth is, my dear friends, that you cannot control every external circumstance in your life. The only thing you truly have control over is your own state of consciousness, your own imagination. And ironically, when you let go of the need to control everything externally and instead focus on controlling your inner world, you gain a kind of mastery over your life that external control could never provide. Instead of trying to control circumstances, focus on controlling your reactions to circumstances. Choose the meaning you give to events. Choose the state of consciousness you occupy. Remember, it's not the events of your life that shape your reality, but your interpretation of those events. As you let go of the need for external control and instead master your inner world, you'll find that life begins to flow more smoothly. You'll develop a deep trust in the unfolding of events, knowing that you have the power to shape your experience of life regardless of external circumstances. The ninth thing to quietly eliminate is the habit of complaining. Complaining, my friends, is another misuse of your creative power. When you complain, you are focusing your attention on what you don't want, and remember, what you focus on expands. Every time you complain, you are affirming the existence of the very thing you're complaining about. You are using your imagination to create and sustain the conditions you say you don't want. Instead of complaining, practice gratitude. Focus your attention on what you appreciate about your life, about your circumstances, about the people around you. As you do this, you'll find that you have more and more to be grateful for. The conditions you once complained about will begin to shift and change, or your perception of them will change in a way that no longer evokes complaint. Remember, gratitude is not just a passive feeling, but a creative force. When you live in a state of gratitude, you align yourself with the abundance of the universe. You open yourself to receiving more of what you appreciate. The 10th element to quietly eliminate from your life is the belief in scarcity. This belief manifests in thoughts like there's not enough to go around if someone else succeeds. It means less for me, or I have to struggle and compete to get what I want. This scarcity mindset is a product of the physical world, where resources can indeed be limited. But remember, my dear friends, you are not just physical beings. You are spiritual beings, connected to the infinite abundance of the universe. In the realm of imagination, in the realm of consciousness, there is no scarcity. There is infinite potential, infinite possibility. To eliminate the belief in scarcity, you must cultivate an abundance mindset. Begin to see abundance all around you. Appreciate the abundance of air you breathe, the abundance of thoughts you can think, the abundance of love you can feel. As you recognize and appreciate the abundance that already exists in your life, you open yourself to experiencing even greater abundance. Remember, the universe is not a finite pie where if someone gets a bigger slice, there's less for you. The universe is infinitely abundant, constantly expanding. There is more than enough for everyone. When you live from this truth, when you embody this abundance mindset, you'll find that opportunities, resources, and blessings naturally flow into your life. The 11th and final thing to quietly eliminate from your life is the belief in separation. This is perhaps the most fundamental illusion to overcome, for it underlies many of the other things we've discussed. The belief in separation manifests in many ways. We see ourselves as separate from others, separate from nature, separate from the divine. This perceived separation leads to fear, conflict, and a sense of lack. But the truth, my dear friends, is that we are all one. We are all individualized expressions of the same divine consciousness. Your true self, your I am, is not separate from the I am of others or the I am of the universe. It is one and the same. To eliminate the belief in separation, practice seeing the divine in everything and everyone. Recognize that the same consciousness that animates you animates all of life. When you look at another person, silently acknowledge I am that I am. When you look at nature, recognize it as another expression of the same consciousness that you are. As you practice this, you'll find that your sense of connection deepens. You'll experience a profound sense of unity with all of life. This doesn't mean you lose your individuality. Rather, you recognize your individuality as a unique expression of the one divine consciousness. When you eliminate the belief in separation, you tap into the infinite power of the universe. You recognize that the power that created the stars and galaxies is the same power that beats your heart and thinks your thoughts. You realize that you are not a small, separate self struggling against the world, but an integral part of the grand tapestry of life. Now, my dear friends, as we come to the end of our exploration of these 11 things to quietly eliminate from your life, I want you to remember that this elimination is not about force or struggle. It's about a shift in consciousness. It's about choosing a new state of being. Each of these 11 elements, doubt, negative self-talk, need for external validation, comparison, belief in limitations, dwelling on the past, worry, need for control, complaining, belief in scarcity, and belief in separation are simply states of consciousness. They are patterns of thought and feeling that you have practiced perhaps unconsciously over time. To eliminate them, you don't need to fight against them. You simply need to choose a new state. Choose faith instead of doubt. Choose self-love instead of negative self-talk. Choose self-validation instead of seeking it externally. Choose appreciation instead of comparison. Choose limitless possibility instead of perceived limitations. Choose to focus on the present and the future you desire to create instead of dwelling on the past. Choose positive imagination instead of worry. Choose to master your inner world instead of trying to control the outer. Choose gratitude instead of complaining. Choose to see and appreciate abundance instead of scarcity. And choose to recognize your oneness with all of life instead of believing in separation. As you make these choices consistently, as you practice these new states of being, you will find that the old patterns naturally fall away. They cannot persist in the light of your new consciousness. Remember, my friends, this is not a journey of adding something to yourself or becoming something you're not. It's a journey of removing the veils that have obscured your true nature. It's about eliminating the false beliefs and limiting patterns that have kept you from fully expressing your divine self. You are already whole, already complete, already one with the creative power of the universe. These 11 things we've discussed are simply illusions that have made you forget this truth. As you quietly eliminate them from your life, you are not becoming something new, but remembering who you have always been. So go forth from here with a new awareness, a new intention. Choose consciously the states you will occupy. Use your imagination, your divine creative power, to construct the inner world you desire to inhabit. For as you change your inner world, you will find your outer world changing to match it. This is the promise and the challenge I leave you with today. It is the invitation to step fully into your power as a divine creator. It is the call to remember your true nature and to live from that remembrance. You have within you the power to transform your life completely. You have the ability to create a life of joy, abundance, love, and fulfillment. And it all begins with the quiet elimination of these 11 things from your consciousness. So start today, my dear friends. Start now. Choose a new state of being. Live from the end, from the state of your wish fulfilled. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the peace of being the person you desire to be, of living the life you desire to live. For remember, in the realm of imagination, in the realm of consciousness, you are already that person. You are already living that life. Your outer world has no choice but to conform to this inner reality. This is the law. This is the promise. This is the truth of your being. Embrace it, live it, become it. For in doing so, you fulfill your highest purpose and express your true self. Go forth and create miracles, my friends, for that is what you are here to do. That is who you truly are, miracle workers, divine creators, expressions of the infinite power of the universe. Thank you. And may your journey of quiet elimination lead you to the full realization of your divine nature and the complete manifestation of your heart's desires.
My dear friends, I want you to clear your mind of all preconceptions. Forget everything you think you know about how the world works, about cause and effect, about struggle and achievement. For the next hour or so, I invite you to open yourself to a new understanding, a new way of being in the world that is as effortless as it is powerful. The world you see around you, the circumstances of your life, the very fabric of your reality, all of this is nothing more than an outward projection of your inner state of consciousness. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your assumptions about yourself and the world. These are the true creators of your experience. Now, many of you may have heard this before. You may even intellectually accept it as true. But tonight, I want you to go beyond mere intellectual understanding. I want you to feel this truth in the very marrow of your bones. For it is only when you truly internalize this principle that you can begin to grasp the immense power that lies dormant within you. Consider for a moment the natural world around us. Does a seed struggle to become a tree? Does it strain and push against the soil, forcing itself to grow? Of course not. The seed simply is, and in being it becomes. It contains within itself the perfect pattern of its full expression. And given the right conditions, it naturally and effortlessly grows into that expression. You, my dear friends, are no different. You too contain within you the seed of your desires, the perfect pattern of your ideal life. And just like the seed, you do not need to force your desires into being. You need only to provide the right conditions for their natural unfoldment. But what are these conditions, you may ask? They are nothing more, nothing less than your state of consciousness. Your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs. These are the soil in which the seeds of your desires take root and grow. Now let us delve deeper into what it means to force things in your life. When you force, you're operating from a place of lack, of desperation. You're saying to the universe, I do not have what I want, and I must struggle and strive to get it. But in doing so, you are affirming the very lack you seek to overcome. Think about it. If you truly believe that you already possess what you desire, would you need to force it? Of course not. You would simply relax into the knowing that it is already yours. This, my friends, is the great secret, the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the absolute conviction that what you desire is already yours. This is the key that unlocks the door to your desires. But how? You may wonder, can we cultivate this feeling of the wish fulfilled? How can we convince ourselves of something that does not yet appear to be true in our outer world? The answer lies in the power of your imagination. Your imagination, dear ones, is not some frivolous faculty for daydreaming. It is the very workshop in which your reality is forged. What you imagine with feeling, with conviction, becomes the blueprint that your outer world must inevitably conform to. So instead of forcing, instead of struggling and striving, I urge you to use your imagination. Create a scene in your mind that implies the fulfillment of your desire. Make it as vivid and as real as you possibly can. Engage all your senses. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the gratitude that would be yours if your desire were already fulfilled. Here's the crucial part. You must persist in this imaginal act. You must return to it again and again, not with effort or strain, but with the calm assurance that what you're imagining is, in fact, your reality. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, surely we must take action in the world to achieve our goals. And to this I say yes, action is indeed necessary. But it is inspired action, effortless action, action that flows naturally from your changed state of consciousness. When you have truly assumed the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you will find that the right actions present themselves to you. Opportunities will appear as if by magic. The people and circumstances necessary for the realization of your desire will be drawn to you by an invisible force. This, my friends, is the law in operation. It is not something external to you, not some capricious force that must be appeased or manipulated. It is simply the way consciousness expresses itself in the world of force. Let me give you an example to illustrate this principle. Imagine a young man who desires to be wealthy. If he operates from a consciousness of lack, he might force himself to work long hours, to scrimp and save every penny to pursue get-rich-quick schemes. He might even achieve a measure of financial success through these methods. But at what cost? His life becomes a constant struggle, a never-ending battle against scarcity. But suppose this same young man were to change his consciousness. Suppose he were to assume the feeling of being wealthy. He would imagine himself living in abundance, enjoying financial freedom, sharing his wealth generously. He would persist in this assumption until it became a conviction, a knowing. What would happen then? He might be inspired to start a business that aligns perfectly with his talents and passions. He might encounter a mentor who guides him to lucrative opportunities. He might even receive an unexpected inheritance or windfall. The specifics don't matter. What matters is that his outer world would inevitably conform to his inner conviction of wealth. All of this would unfold naturally, effortlessly. There would be no need for force, no need for struggle. The young man would simply follow the path that naturally opens up before him, guided by his inner knowing of abundance. This, my dear friends, is what I mean when I say don't force anything. It's not about passivity or inaction. It's about aligning yourself with the natural flow of life, with the law that governs all things. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, what about the challenges and obstacles we face in life? Surely we must overcome these through effort and struggle. You call challenges and obstacles are nothing more than the outpicturing of your own limiting beliefs and assumptions. When you force against these apparent obstacles, you are in fact reinforcing the very consciousness that created them. You are saying to the universe, yes, this is real, this is solid, this is something I must fight against. And in doing so, you give it even more power over you. But what if, instead of forcing against these obstacles, you were to simply assume that they do not exist? What if you were to live from the assumption that the path to your desire is clear and open? You would find, much to your amazement, that the obstacles dissolve of their own accord, or that solutions present themselves with ease and grace. Remember, my friends, the outer world is nothing more than a shadow, a reflection of your inner state. Change the inner, and the outer must follow. Now let's consider another aspect of this principle of not forcing. Many of you, in your quest for spiritual growth and understanding, may have encountered teachings that emphasize discipline, effort, and control. You may have been told that you must force yourself to think positive thoughts, that you must struggle against negative emotions, that you must exert iron control over your mind. But I say to you, this too is a form of forcing, and it is ultimately counterproductive. For in attempting to control your thoughts and emotions through sheer willpower, you are implicitly affirming their power over you. You are saying these thoughts, these emotions are real and powerful. Instead, I urge you to simply observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment, without resistance. See them for what they are, temporary states of consciousness that have no power other than that which you give them. And then gently but firmly, turn your attention to the state you wish to embody. This is not forcing, but allowing. Is not struggle, but surrender to your true self, to the God within you that is the source of all creation. Let me share with you a personal experience that illustrates this principle. Many years ago, when I first began to explore these truths, I found myself in dire financial straits. Bills were piling up, creditors were calling, and I could see no way out of my predicament. My first instinct was to force a solution. I worked longer hours, I scrimped and saved, I worried and fretted, but the more I forced, the worse my situation became. It was as if the universe was conspiring against me, closing every door I tried to push open. Then, in a moment of quiet desperation, I remembered the truth I had been studying. I realized that my outer circumstances were merely a reflection of my inner state of lack and limitation. And in that moment, I made a decision to change my inner. Instead of focusing on my apparent lack, I began to imagine myself as financially secure. I created a scene in my imagination where I was paying my bills with ease, where money flowed to me abundantly, where I lived in a state of joyful prosperity. At first, it felt like pretending, but I persisted. Night after night, I would fall asleep in this imaginal scene. I would carry the feeling of financial abundance with me throughout my day. I refused to be moved by the apparent facts of my outer world. And then, my friends, the miracle occurred. Within a matter of weeks, my financial situation began to change. A business opportunity presented itself that I would never have noticed in my previous state of consciousness. Money began to flow from unexpected sources. Before I knew it, all my debts were paid, and I was living in the very state of prosperity I had imagined. None of this required force or struggle on my part. Once I had changed my inner state, the outer circumstances of my life rearranged themselves naturally, effortlessly, to match that state. All I had to do was to follow the promptings of my intuition, to take the inspired actions that naturally arose from my new state of consciousness. This, my dear friends, is the power that lies within each and every one of you. You do not need to force your good into being. You need only to assume the feeling of already being, doing, or having that which you desire. The rest will follow as naturally as day follows night. Now, I can sense that some of you may be struggling with this concept. You may be thinking, but Neville, I've tried to imagine my desires as fulfilled, and nothing has changed. Am I doing something wrong? Be patient with yourself. Remember, you are undoing a lifetime of habitual thinking and feeling. You are challenging deeply ingrained beliefs about the nature of reality itself. This is no small task, and it may take time and persistence. But do not mistake persistence for force. Persistence is simply the consistent application of a principle. It is returning again and again to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, not with strain or effort, but with calm assurance. Think of it this way. When you plant a seed in the ground, you dig it up every day to see if it's growing. Of course not. You trust in the natural process of growth. You provide the right conditions, water, sunlight, fertile soil, and then you allow the seed to do what it naturally does. Your desires are like seeds planted in the fertile soil of your consciousness. Provide the right conditions, the feeling of fulfillment, the assumption of already being what you wish to be, and then allow the natural process of manifestation to unfold. This allowing, this trust in the law, is the very opposite of forcing. It is a state of relaxed awareness, of knowing that what is yours must inevitably come to you. Now, let us address another common misconception. Some of you may be thinking, but Neville, if I don't force things, if I don't strive and struggle, won't I become lazy and unproductive? My dear friends, nothing could be further from the truth. When you align yourself with the law, when you live from the state of the wish fulfilled, you will find yourself more energized, more inspired, more productive than ever before. But it will be a different kind of productivity. It will not be the frantic activity of someone driven by fear and lack. It will be the joyful, purposeful activity of someone who knows their own power, who trusts in the perfect unfoldment of their good. You see, when you force, you are operating from your limited egoic self. You are trying to make things happen through sheer willpower. But when you allow, when you trust in the law, you are aligning yourself with the infinite power of your true self, of the God within you. And this power, my friends, is limitless. It knows no bounds. It can accomplish in a moment what might take years of forced effort. But it operates according to spiritual principles, not material ones. It responds not to your actions, but to your state of consciousness. So I urge you, let go of the need to force. Let go of the belief that struggle and strain are necessary for achievement. Instead, cultivate the art of allowing. Learn to live in the state of the wish fulfilled, no matter what your outer circumstances may be telling you. This is not always easy, I know. The world around you may seem to contradict your inner knowing at every turn. But remember, the outer world is only a shadow. It is your inner world that is the reality, the causative force. Stand firm in your assumption. No matter what the evidence of your senses may tell you, no matter what others may say, hold fast to the truth of your imaginal act. For it is this, and this alone, that has the power to reshape your world. Now, let me address a question that often arises when I speak of these principles. Some of you may be wondering, but Neville, what about the suffering in the world? What about injustice and inequality? Surely we must take action to change these things. We must take action. But it must be inspired action, action that springs from a changed consciousness. For if we act from the same consciousness that created these conditions, we will only perpetuate them, no matter how noble our intentions. If you wish to change the world, my friends, you must first change yourself. You must first embody the change you wish to see. For the outer world is nothing more than a reflection of the inner states of the collective consciousness. Imagine a world where every individual understood and applied these principles. Imagine a world where each person lived from the state of their wish fulfilled, where no one felt the need to force or struggle or compete. Can you see how radically different such a world would be? This, my dear friends, is the great work to which we are all called. It is not a work of outer reform, but of inner transformation. It is not a work of force, but of allowing the divine pattern within each of us to unfold naturally and perfectly. And make no mistake, this work begins with you. Right here, right now. In this very moment, you have the power to change your world by changing your consciousness. You have the power to let go of force and embrace the art of allowing. So I challenge you, my friends. For the next week, commit to living from the state of your wish fulfilled. Choose one desire, one change you wish to see in your life. Create a scene that implies the fulfillment of this desire. Make it as vivid and as real as you can. Then every night before you sleep, enter into this scene. Feel it, live it, make it so real that when you open your eyes, you're almost surprised to find yourself back in your present circumstances. But don't stop there. Carry the feeling of fulfillment with you throughout your day. No matter what your outer world shows you, hold fast to your inner knowing. Don't force, don't struggle, simply allow. And watch, my friends, watch how your world begins to change. Watch how doors open that you never knew existed. Watch how the very circumstances of your life rearrange themselves to match your new state of consciousness. This is the law in action. This is the power that has been given to you, that lies dormant within you, waiting to be awakened. Remember, you are not some helpless victim of circumstance. You are not at the mercy of external forces. You are the operant power in your world. You are the God of your universe, creating your reality with every thought, every feeling, every assumption. So choose wisely, my friends. Choose to live from the end. Choose to embody the state of your wish fulfilled. Choose to trust in the law, to allow your good to flow to you naturally and effortlessly. For in this choice lies your freedom. In this choice lies your power. In this choice lies the key to creating the life you truly desire. And as we come to the close of our talk this evening, I want to leave you with one final thought. The principle we've discussed, don't force anything, is not just a technique for manifesting your desires. It is a way of life, a state of being that aligns you with the very rhythm of the universe. When you cease to force, when you learn to allow, you open yourself to the infinite intelligence that pervades all things. You become a channel through which the divine can express itself in the world. And in this state of allowance, of surrender to your highest self, you will find a peace and a joy that no outer circumstance can shake. You will move through life with grace and ease, knowing that all is well, that all is unfolding perfectly according to the divine pattern within you. So go forth, my dear friends, and apply what you have learned. Let go of force. Embrace the art of allowing and watch as miracles unfold in your life. For you are the miracle, you are the power, you are the divine made manifest. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
You are here because your imagination, that divine and creative force within you, has drawn you to this exact moment. Let us understand a profound truth. In all of existence, there are no accidents. Every moment, every encounter, every single word you're absorbing right now was predetermined by the state of consciousness you have been occupying. Your presence here is a testament to the law that governs all things, the law of consciousness. You see, while millions walk this earth, only a select few will receive this message. Not because it's hidden, not because it's exclusive, but because only those who are ready to awaken to their true power will be drawn to it. This is the law working with mathematical precision. Consider for a moment, out of all the possible moments in time, out of all the possible messages you could be receiving, you are here now reading these words. This is not coincidence. This is consciousness expressing itself through the perfect pattern of divine timing. Now, let me share with you what I know to be true through my own experience. The very fact that you are here means you have reached a point in your spiritual evolution where you are ready to understand the deeper mysteries of existence. You are ready to grasp that which only a few will ever comprehend. Your outer world, every detail of it, is nothing more than your consciousness pushed out. The fact that you are receiving this message now is evidence that within you there exists a state of readiness, a state of spiritual receptivity that has manifested this very moment. Many will say this is too simple to be true. They will look for complexity, for difficult paths and arduous journeys. But I tell you this, the greatest truths are always the simplest. The truth that your consciousness is the only reality is so simple that most will miss it entirely. Now, let me share with you why this message finds only those who are ready to receive it. You see, in this vast world, endless chatter and noise, only those who have reached a certain frequency of consciousness will be able to hear these words and understand their profound meaning. Consciousness, being the only reality, operates with perfect precision. Just as a radio must be tuned to the exact frequency to receive a particular broadcast, your consciousness had to be tuned to this exact spiritual frequency to receive this message. This is not theory, this is law. Consider for a moment, there are billions of thoughts being thought at this very instant, countless words being spoken and written. Yet you are here, your attention fixed on these specific words. This is not random. This is the law of consciousness operating with divine accuracy. I tell you with absolute certainty, your presence here is a sign that you have been prepared. Through all your past experiences, through every moment of doubt and questioning, to receive this truth. You have been led here by the God within you, that infinite creative power that is your true self. Now let us understand something fundamental about this moment. While others are seeking external solutions, running from teacher to teacher, from book to book, you have been drawn to this message because somewhere within you, there is a knowing. A knowing that what you seek is not outside of you, but within. Your consciousness, that infinite creative power, has brought you to this moment because you are ready to step into a new dimension of understanding. While others sleep in the dream of externalization, you are being awakened to the truth that all power lies within your own wonderful human imagination. Many will read these words and dismiss them, returning to their sleep of mortality. But you who have been chosen by your own higher self to receive this message, will recognize the ring of truth in these words. You will feel the stirring of remembrance in your soul. The very fact that these words resonate with something deep within you is proof that you are among the few who are ready to awaken from the dream of limitation. While others continue to worship at the altar of external power, you are being called to recognize the God within. Now let us delve deeper into why this particular moment holds such significance. You see, in the infinite sea of possibilities, your consciousness has drawn you to these words because you are ready to understand the magnitude of what I am about to share. This message is not meant for the masses, not because they are excluded, but because they are not yet ready to comprehend the profound simplicity of what I am sharing. They are still asleep in the dream of external causation, still believing that their reality is something happening to them rather than from them. Consider this, out of all the moments in time, out of all the possible messages you could be receiving, your consciousness has orchestrated this precise encounter. This is not chance. This is divine law expressing itself through the perfect pattern of your awakening consciousness. I tell you with absolute certainty, the very fact that you find yourself drawn to these words is evidence of your spiritual readiness. While others chase shadows in the external world, you have been prepared to receive the truth that all creation begins within. Now let me share something that few will understand, but you will recognize as truth. Your presence here, reading these words, is not separate from your desire to understand the deeper mysteries of existence. Your desire and its fulfillment are one, happening in the eternal now. Most people will continue to believe that their desires are separate from their fulfillment, that there must be a gap in time between wanting and receiving. But you who have been drawn to this message, are ready to understand that desire and fulfillment are one, separated only by our consciousness of lack. You see, while others spend their lives waiting for something to happen to them, you are being awakened to the truth that everything happens from you. Your consciousness is the only reality. And everything you experience is simply your consciousness pushed out into the world of shadows we call physical reality. The fact that you continue to resonate with these words is proof that you are among the chosen few who are ready to step into their divine inheritance, not chosen by any external force, but chosen by your own expanded consciousness, your own readiness to receive this truth. Now let me reveal to you why this message finds only those who are prepared to receive it. In all of creation, there exists a perfect law that brings the seeker to the truth precisely when they are ready to embrace it. Not a moment before, not a moment after. You see, while millions chase after material success and external validation, you have been drawn to these words because something within you, that divine spark of awareness, recognizes a deeper truth. Your consciousness has expanded to the point where you can receive what I am about to share. Consider this profound truth. In this very moment, countless individuals are seeking answers. Yet only a precious few will encounter this message. This is not because the truth is hidden, but because consciousness must be prepared to receive it. Just as a seed must be ready before it can sprout, consciousness must be ripened before it can embrace higher truth. I tell you with absolute certainty, your presence here is no accident. In the infinite wisdom of divine law, you have been brought to this exact moment because you are ready to step into a new dimension of understanding. While others remain caught in the web of external causes, you are being awakened to the truth that all causes lie within. Now let us understand something that few will ever grasp, but that you will recognize as truth. The very fact that you are receiving this message is evidence that within you exists a state of consciousness that is ready to transcend the limitations of conventional thinking. You are ready to step into the awareness that your imagination is God in action within you. Most will continue to seek their good in the world of effects, never realizing that all effects spring from the one cause, consciousness. But you who have been drawn to these words, are ready to understand that consciousness is the only reality, and all else is merely its shadow. You see, while the masses continue to pray to a God outside themselves, you are being awakened to the truth that the kingdom of heaven is within you. Your consciousness is that kingdom, and your imagination is the God power operating within it. Now let me share with you something that very few will ever understand, yet you will recognize its truth in the depths of your being. The fact that you continue reading these words is testament to a spiritual readiness that has been cultivated through countless states of consciousness. You see, while the masses remain hypnotized by the shadow world of effects, believing that what they see is what creates their reality, you have been prepared to receive the reverse of this truth. Everything you see, everything you experience is preceded by a state of consciousness that you have occupied. Consider this. At this very moment, billions of people are engaging with countless different messages, yet you are here, your attention fixed on these words. This is not chance, not coincidence, but the perfect operation of divine law. Your consciousness has drawn you to exactly what it needs for its next level of unfoldment. I tell you with complete conviction, the very fact that these words resonate within you is proof that you have reached a level of spiritual maturity that few attain in a single lifetime. While others chase after effects, you are being guided to understand the one and only cause, consciousness itself. Now, let us delve deeper into why this message finds so few ready recipients. You see, human mind is conditioned to seek complexity. To believe that spiritual truth be difficult to attain must require years of study and practice. But I tell you this, the deepest truths are so simple that most will miss them entirely. Most will continue to believe that their good must come from something or someone external to themselves. They will continue to worship at the altar of circumstances, never realizing that circumstances are merely the shadow cast by their own state of consciousness. But you who have been drawn to this message, are ready to step into a new understanding. You see, while others spend their lives trying to change effects, you are being awakened to the truth that only cause can be changed, and that cause is your own wonderful human imagination. Your consciousness is the only reality, and all phenomena are simply consciousness expressed. Now, let me reveal to you something so profound, yet so simple, that most minds will reject it outright. The very moment you are experiencing now, reading these words, was created by a state of consciousness you occupied before you even knew of this message's existence. You see, while the world speaks of coincidence and chance, you are being awakened to understand that every moment is orchestrated by the law of consciousness with mathematical precision. There are no accidents in a universe governed by law, and your presence here is evidence of this truth. Consider this eternal principle: consciousness is the only reality, and everything else is an effect of consciousness. The fact that so few will receive this message is not because it is hidden, but because consciousness must first be prepared to receive it. Like a radio must be tuned to the right frequency, consciousness must be tuned to the frequency of truth. I tell you with absolute authority, your ability to understand and accept What I am sharing comes not from intellectual capacity, but from spiritual readiness. While millions remain caught in the hypnosis of materialism, you have been prepared through countless experiences to receive this revelation. Now let us understand why this message appears to so few. In the infinite wisdom of divine law, truth reveals itself only to those who have developed the consciousness to receive it. This is not exclusivity. This is the perfect operation of spiritual law. Most will continue to believe that life is happening to them, that they are victims of circumstances, never realizing that circumstances are merely consciousness objectified. But you who resonate with these words, are ready to step into the awareness that you are the operant power in your world. You see, while others pray to a God they believe exists somewhere outside themselves, you are being to the truth that God is your own wonderful human imagination. This is why so few will receive this message, because they are not yet ready to accept their own divinity. The very fact that you continue to read these words, that they strike a chord of recognition within you, is evidence that you have evolved beyond the mass consciousness of victimhood. You are ready to assume your rightful place as a conscious creator of your reality. Now, let me share with you a truth so fundamental yet so revolutionary that it will completely transform your understanding of reality. The very act of your consciousness engaging with these words is creating ripples in the fabric of your existence that will manifest in ways you cannot yet imagine. You see, while the vast majority of humanity believes that their future is determined by their past, you are being awakened to the glorious truth that your future is determined by your present state of consciousness. This is why so few will receive this message, because they are still bound by the chains of past-based thinking. Consider the profound implications of what I am telling you. In this very moment, as you absorb these words, you are literally selecting from infinite possibilities the exact experiences that will manifest in your world. Your consciousness is not just receiving information, it is creating reality. I tell you with unwavering certainty, the fact that you are drawn to this deeper understanding is evidence that you have outgrown the limited consciousness of the masses. While others remain trapped in the belief of external causation, you are ready to assume your role as the cause of all causes in your world. Now let us delve deeper into why this message reaches so few. The natural man living in the world of effects cannot comprehend that everything in their experience is simply consciousness externalized. They seek causes in the outer world, never realizing that the outer world is simply consciousness made visible. Most will continue to believe that their consciousness is an effect of their circumstances, never grasping the eternal truth that their circumstances are an effect of their consciousness. But you who have been drawn to these words by the law of divine selection, are ready to reverse this understanding. You see, while the masses chase after effects, trying to change their world by manipulating external conditions, you are being awakened to the truth that only consciousness can be changed. And when consciousness changes, all else must change with it. This is the law. The very fact that these words continue to resonate within you is proof that you have evolved beyond the mass hypnosis of materialism. You are ready to step into the awareness that your consciousness is the one and only reality. Now, let me reveal to you why this moment carries such profound significance in your spiritual evolution. While millions sleepwalk through their existence, accepting the illusion of external causation, you have been drawn to this message by the law of divine timing that governs all manifestation. You see, consciousness operates with perfect precision, bringing to each soul exactly what it needs at the precise moment it is ready to receive it. The very fact that you are engaging with these words now is evidence that your consciousness has expanded to the point where it can grasp these deeper truths. Consider what this means. Out of all the infinite possibilities that exist in any given moment, your consciousness has drawn you to this exact message. This is not chance, not coincidence, but the perfect operation of spiritual law. While others remain caught in the web of random events, you are awakening to the truth that nothing is random. I tell you with absolute conviction, your presence here, your ability to comprehend and resonate with these words is proof that you have reached a level of spiritual maturity that few attain. While the masses continue to seek their good in the world of effects, you are ready to operate from the world of cause. Now let us understand something that the rational mind might reject, but your soul will recognize as truth.
The very consciousness that drew you to this message is the same consciousness that creates and sustains the entire universe.
There is no separation, no division, all is one consciousness diversely expressed. Most will continue to believe that they must wait for something external to change their lives, never realizing that the waiting itself is the very state that perpetuates their current conditions. But you who have been drawn to these words by divine law, are ready to step into the awareness that waiting is unnecessary because everything exists now in consciousness. You see, while others spend their lives trying to make things happen, you are being awakened to the truth that nothing needs to happen. Everything already is in consciousness, and your task is simply to occupy the state of consciousness that corresponds to your desire. You see, while the masses remain focused on the world of shadows, what they can see, touch, and measure, you are being awakened to the truth that all tangible reality is merely consciousness crystallized into form. This is why so few receive this message, because they are not yet ready to accept that consciousness precedes all manifestation. Consider this eternal truth in this very moment. As these words penetrate your consciousness, you are literally rearranging the entire universe. Not the universe of effects that appears so solid and real, but the true universe of consciousness from which all effects spring forth. I tell you with complete authority, your presence here, your continued resonance with these words, is not a matter of choice as the world understands choice. It is the perfect unfoldment of a state of consciousness you entered when you were ready to receive higher truth. Now let us delve deeper into why this message finds so few ready recipients. The natural mind, conditioned by centuries of materialistic thinking, cannot grasp that everything in the visible world is simply consciousness pushed out. They seek causes in effects, never realizing that all effects proceed from the one cause, consciousness itself. Most will continue to believe that their thoughts and feelings are a reaction to their world, never grasping the eternal truth that their world is a reaction to their thoughts and feelings. But you who have been drawn to this message by divine law, are ready to assume your place as the conscious operator of this law. You see, while others remain trapped in the belief that time is a linear progression from past to future, you are being awakened to the truth that all time exists simultaneously in consciousness. The past you remember and the future you anticipate are both present now in your consciousness. Now, as we draw this divine revelation to its completion, understand this final truth, that even this ending is but a new beginning in consciousness. The very fact that you have remained attentive through these revelations is testament to your spiritual readiness. You see, while others may have found these words too abstract, too removed from what they consider practical reality, you have recognized the ultimate practicality of operating from the one and only cause, consciousness itself. This understanding sets you apart from the masses who continue to live in effect. Remember this, the message you have received today will continue to unfold within your consciousness, revealing deeper and deeper layers of truth as you are ready to receive them. For truth, like consciousness itself, is infinite in its expression. I tell you this with finality, you were not drawn to this message to simply hear words, but to experience an awakening of the God power within you. From this moment forward, you will never again see the world through the eyes of the natural man, for you have been initiated into the mysteries of consciousness. Know this, as you leave this message, you are not the same being who began reading it. Your consciousness has been altered, expanded, lifted to a new level of understanding. While others may forget what they read moments after reading it, these truths will continue to work in your consciousness, transforming your entire world. For you are among the few who have been prepared to receive this wisdom, to understand that your consciousness is the only reality, and that all else is simply consciousness made visible. This is not the end of your journey, but rather the true beginning of your conscious creation. Go forth now, knowing that you have been chosen by your own expanded consciousness to receive these truths. Let them work in you, through you, as you are not separate from these principles. You are these principles in operation. And remember, this message found you because you were ready to receive it. Your consciousness drew it to you with the same precision that governs the movement of planets and the blooming of flowers. You are that power, that law, that consciousness made manifest. For those who have ears to hear, let them hear. For those who have eyes to see, let them see. And for you who have been prepared to receive this truth, let this understanding transform every aspect of your being. For consciousness is all there is, and you are that consciousness individualized. And now, in the eternal now where all creation takes place, we conclude this message, knowing that in consciousness there is no conclusion, only eternal unfoldment of that which already is.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed friends, and seekers of truth, I stand before you today to impart a message of profound importance, a message that has the power to transform your life in ways you may have never imagined possible. The topic of our discourse is this: act as you can handle anything. Now I ask you to open your minds and hearts, for what I am about to share with you is not merely a collection of words, but a key to unlocking the infinite potential that resides within you. Let us begin by understanding a fundamental truth. Your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world. Every circumstance, every event, every person you encounter in your daily life is but a mirror of your own consciousness. This may seem a bold claim, but I assure you it is the very foundation upon which the power of your imagination rests. When you act as if you can handle anything, you are not merely putting on a brave face or engaging in empty posturing. No, my dear friends, you are engaging in the most potent form of creation known to man. You are, in essence, commanding the very fabric of reality to conform to your will. I've said of your gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. These are not mere poetic flourishes, but a profound statement of truth. You are, in your essence, a divine being imbued with the very power of creation. When you truly grasp this truth, when you feel it in the very marrow of your bones, you will understand that there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that you cannot handle. But how? You may ask, does one begin to act as if they can handle anything? The answer, my friends, lies in the power of your imagination. Your imagination is not some frivolous faculty, useful only for daydreaming or escaping reality. No, your imagination is the very workshop in which you forge your reality. When you face a challenge, when you encounter a situation that seems overwhelming, I urge you to close your eyes and enter the theater of your mind. See yourself handling the situation with ease and grace. Feel the confidence coursing through your veins. Hear the words of praise and admiration from those around you. Taste the sweet nectar of success. In short, live in your imagination as if you have already triumphed. This is not mere positive thinking or wishful daydreaming. This is the art of consciously using your imagination to impress upon your subconscious mind the reality you wish to experience. For you see, your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is actually experienced in the physical world. When you consistently impress upon your subconscious mind the image of yourself as someone who can handle anything, you are literally reprogramming your entire being. You are changing the very essence of who you are at the deepest level. And as you change within, the outer world has no choice but to change in accordance. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, surely there are some things that are truly beyond our control. How can we act as if we can handle these things? To this I say, there's nothing outside of you. The entire universe exists within your consciousness. What you perceive as external circumstances are merely outpicturings of your own states of consciousness. When you truly internalize this truth, you will understand that by changing your inner state, by firmly establishing within yourself the conviction that you can handle anything, you are quite literally changing the universe. For the universe, its infinite wisdom, always conspires to bring about the conditions that match your inner state. Let me share with you A simple technique that you can use to cultivate this state of unshakable confidence. Before you go to sleep each night, enter into a state of relaxation. Allow your body to become completely at ease and your mind to become still. Then, in this receptive state, begin to imagine a scene that implies you have already become the person who can handle anything. Perhaps you see yourself confidently addressing a large audience or skillfully navigating a complex business negotiation. Maybe you picture yourself remaining calm and centered in the face of a personal crisis. The specific scene is not important. What matters is that it implies the fulfillment of your desire to be someone who can handle anything. As you imagine this scene, allow yourself to fully enter into it. Feel the emotions you would feel if this were actually happening. Experience the sensations in your body. Hear the sounds, smell the scents, taste the flavors. Make it as real and vivid as possible. Then, holding this image and these feelings, drift off to sleep. What you're doing in this exercise is impressing upon your subconscious mind that its most receptive state, the reality you wish to experience, your subconscious mind, being the faithful servant that it is, will then go to work to bring about the conditions that match this inner image. Now I want to address a common misconception. Some of you may be thinking, but Neville, isn't this just self-deception? Aren't we fooling ourselves by pretending we can handle things that we actually can't? There's no pretending. There's no self-deception. There is only the recognition and acceptance of your true nature as a divine being. When you act as if you can handle anything, you are not putting on an act. You are stepping into your true identity. You are claiming your birthright as a child of God, as a being of infinite potential. This is not arrogance or hubris. This is the humble acceptance of the truth of your being. Consider the words of Jesus. Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. This is not a promise of some future fulfillment. This is a statement of a present reality. When you truly believe, when you act from the conviction that you have already received what you desire, you align yourself with the creative power of the universe. This principle applies to every aspect of your life. Whether you're facing a challenging work situation, a difficult relationship, a health crisis, or any other perceived obstacle, the key is to act from the state of having already overcome it. Feel the relief, the joy, the confidence that comes from having handled the situation successfully. As you do this, you may find that the outer circumstances begin to shift in ways that seem miraculous. People may suddenly become more cooperative. Resources may appear as if out of nowhere. Solutions to problems may present themselves with surprising ease. This is not coincidence or luck. This is the natural result of aligning your inner state with the outcome you desire. But what about those times when, despite your best efforts, things seem to go wrong? What about those moments when you feel overwhelmed, when you doubt your ability to handle what life has thrown at you? In these moments, my dear friends, it is more important than ever to persist in your assumption. Remember, what you're experiencing in the outer world is merely the shadow of past thoughts and assumptions. It is the fruit of seeds planted in the past. But you have the power here and now to plant new seeds. You have the power to choose a new assumption, to step into a new state of being. In these challenging moments, return to your imagination. Step once again into that inner theater. See yourself moving through the challenge with ease and grace. Feel the strength and confidence flowing through you. No, with unshakable certainty that you can and will handle whatever comes your way. As you do this, you may find that the very nature of the challenge begins to change. What once seemed insurmountable may suddenly reveal itself as an opportunity for growth. What appeared as an obstacle may transform into a stepping stone. For when you change your perception, you change your reality. Now, some of you may be wondering, but Neville, how long will it take for my outer world to reflect this new inner state? To this I sigh. Time is an illusion of the physical world. In the realm of spirit, in the realm of your true being, there is only the eternal now. Your task is not to worry about when or how your desire will manifest. Your task is to live here and now in the state of its fulfillment. Act as if you can handle anything, not because you are waiting for this ability to manifest in the future, but because you recognize it as your true nature in this very moment. As you consistently maintain this state, you will find that your outer world begins to rearrange itself to match your inner conviction. The speed at which this occurs is not important. What matters is your unwavering faith, your persistent assumption of the state of being you desire. Let me share with you a powerful affirmation that you can use to reinforce this state. I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Repeat this to yourself throughout the day, especially in moments when you feel challenged or doubtful. Let these words sink deep into your consciousness, becoming the very foundation of your being. As you do this, you may find that your entire perception of life begins to shift. Challenges that once seemed daunting may now appear as exciting opportunities for growth. Situations that once caused fear may now fill you with a sense of eager anticipation. For when you truly know that you can handle anything, life becomes an adventure rather than a struggle. But remember, my dear friends, this is not about becoming invincible in the physical sense. It is not about never experiencing difficulties or setbacks. Rather, it is about cultivating an inner state of unshakable confidence and peace, regardless of outer circumstances. Think of it this way. Just as the depths of the ocean remain calm even when the surface is whipped into a frenzy by a storm, so too can your inner being remain serene and confident even amidst the turbulence of life. This inner calm, this unwavering certainty that you can handle anything, becomes your anchor in any storm. Now, let us delve deeper into the mechanics of how this transformation occurs. When you act as if you can handle anything, you are engaging in what I call the law of assumption. This law states that if you assume a certain state of being and persist in that assumption, it must become your reality. This is not wishful thinking or mere positive affirmation. This is a fundamental law of consciousness. Just as the law of gravity operates consistently in the physical world, so does the law of assumption operate consistently in the realm of consciousness. When you assume the state of being someone who can handle anything, you're literally reconfiguring your entire being. Your thoughts, your emotions, your very vibration shifts to align with this new state. And as you persist in this state, the outer world has no choice but to conform to this new inner reality. Consider for a moment the story of David and Goliath. On the surface, it appears to be a tale of an underdog triumphing against impossible odds. But viewed through the lens of the law of assumption, we see a different story. David did not see himself as an underdog. He assumed the state of victory before the battle even began. He acted as if he could handle anything, including a giant warrior who had struck fear into the hearts of seasoned soldiers. In your life, you will face many Goliaths. These may take the form of challenging circumstances, difficult people, or your own limiting beliefs. But remember, just as David did, you have the power to assume the state of victory before the battle even begins. You have the power to act as if you can handle anything. And in doing so, you transform the very nature of the challenges you face. But how? You may ask, does one maintain this state of assumption in the face of contrary evidence? How does one continue to act as if they can handle anything when the outer world seems to be crumbling around them? The answer lies in understanding the nature of reality itself. What you perceive as solid, immutable reality is in fact incredibly fluid and responsive to your consciousness. The world you see around you is not an objective, fixed entity. It is a reflection of your own states of consciousness, constantly shifting and changing in response to your inner worlds. When you truly grasp this truth, you will understand that the evidence of your senses is always secondary to the truth of your being. Your task is not to deny or fight against what your senses show you, but to persist in your assumption regardless of appearances. This requires a certain level of mental discipline, a willingness to stand firm in your conviction, even when the outer world seems to contradict it. But as you practice this, as you consistently choose to act from the state of being able to handle anything, you will find that your outer world begins to shift to match this inner state. Remember, the power that creates worlds resides within you. You are not a helpless victim of circumstances, but a divine creator shaping your reality with every thought, every feeling, every assumption. When you act as if you can handle anything, you are exercising this creative power in its highest form. Now, I want to address a question that often arises when discussing these principles. But never, what about other people? Surely we can't control their actions or attitudes. To this I say, there are no other people in the way you might think. What you perceive as separate individuals are, in fact, aspects of your own consciousness, playing roles in the grand drama of your life. This may seem like a radical idea, but consider for a moment. Have you ever noticed how people tend to treat you in accordance with how you expect to be treated? Have you ever observed how your relationships seem to reflect your own inner attitudes and beliefs? This is not coincidence. This is the law of assumption at work. When you truly embody the state of someone who can handle anything, you will find that the people in your life begin to reflect this back to you. Those who once seemed difficult or challenging may suddenly become supportive and cooperative. Those who once triggered feelings of inadequacy, you may now inspire feelings of confidence and capability. This is not because you have changed them, but because you have changed yourself. As you assume the state of being able to handle anything, you are literally recasting the roles of everyone in your life. You are rewriting the script of your life's drama from a place of empowerment and confidence. But remember, this is not about controlling or manipulating others. It is about recognizing your own divine nature and allowing it to express itself fully in every aspect of your life. As you do this, you will find that your relationships become more harmonious, your interactions more fulfilling, and your overall experience of life more joyful and empowering. Now, let us explore how this principle of acting as if you can handle anything applies to specific areas of your life. In your career, for instance, imagine how differently you would approach challenges if you truly believed you could handle anything that came your way. How would you carry yourself in meetings? How would you tackle difficult projects? How would you interact with colleagues and superiors? When you act from this state of unshakable confidence, you naturally command respect and admiration. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach may suddenly present themselves. Promotions and advancements may come with surprising ease. This is not because the outer circumstances have changed, but because you have changed. You have aligned yourself with a higher state of being, and the outer world has no choice but to reflect this back to you. In your personal relationships, acting as if you can handle anything can lead to profound transformations. Imagine approaching your partnerships from a place of complete self-assurance and inner peace. How would this change the dynamic? How would it affect the way you communicate, the way you give and receive love? When you no longer come from a place of neediness or fear, when you truly know that you can handle anything, your relationships naturally become more balanced and fulfilling. You attract partners who reflect your own inner strength and confidence. Conflicts that once seemed insurmountable now become opportunities for growth and deeper connection. In matters of health and well-being, the principle of acting as if you can handle anything is particularly powerful. Your body is incredibly responsive to your mental and emotional states. When you truly believe that you can handle any health challenge that comes your way, you create an inner environment that supports healing and vitality. This doesn't mean denying or ignoring health issues. Rather, it means approaching them from a place of empowerment rather than fear. It means trusting in your body's innate wisdom and ability to heal. It means knowing at the deepest level that you have the strength and resilience to overcome any health challenge. As you consistently maintain this state of inner confidence and trust, you may find that your physical health begins to improve in ways that seem miraculous. Chronic conditions may begin to alleviate. Your energy levels may increase. Your overall sense of well-being may soar. Again, this is not magic or wishful thinking. This is the natural result of aligning your inner state with the outcome you desire. Now, I want to address a common pitfall that many people encounter on this journey. It's the tendency to judge oneself harshly when things don't seem to be manifesting as quickly or easily as desired. Remember, my dear friends, judgment is a state that keeps you bound to the very conditions you wish to change. Instead of judging yourself or your progress, practice compassion and persistence. If you find yourself slipping back into old patterns of doubt or fear, gently guide your attention back to the state of knowing you can handle anything. This is not a battle or a struggle. It is a gentle, persistent realignment with your true nature. Think of it tuning a musical instrument. When a string goes out of tune, you don't berate the instrument or give up in frustration. You simply adjust the string, bring it back into harmony. In the same way, when you find yourself out of alignment with the state of being able to handle anything, simply readjust. Return to your imagination. Step once again into the feeling of unshakable confidence and capability. As you practice this, you will find that maintaining this state becomes easier and more natural. What once required conscious effort now becomes your default way of being. You begin to embody the truth of who you really are. A divine being of infinite potential, capable of handling anything and everything that life presents. Now let's explore how this principle can be applied to goals and aspirations. When you act as if you can handle anything, you naturally set bigger goals for yourself.